Hello world! Welcome back to another Tenable CTF 2022 write-up video. In this video, we'll be walking through the web challenge ContinuuOS. Let's get into it. We're trying to get access to the SSH private key of the operations user. Can you help? Notice operations is in bold, so that probably is the user's username. Maybe. We'll see. Anyways, let's actually go into the challenge, and you're presented with a username and password. Let's check the source. Check settings in /www/html/conf.xml. Okay. And then here we have a little XML request. All right, so this is probably susceptible to XXE. And if that's the case, let's go ahead and crack open Burp Suite, why don't we? Grab the link here. That way we can repeat the exploit if it doesn't work the first time. Okay, so we're going to go to proxy. Let me go ahead and open this up over here. Open browser. Paste in the URL. Forward. All right, so let's just type in admin for dummy's sake. And sure enough, that looks like the setup for an XML injection. All right, or XXE rather. So we're going to take that and send it to the repeater. And then we're going to go ahead and craft our exploit. So I need to actually go to the hack tricks link right here that I already had open. And this is the little exploit that I use. So I just took this chunk right here. And then I pasted it, I believe it goes under there. Okay. And then we need to test and see if it works, of course. So they're using example. Let's use almond. And I believe we need to replace... Yeah, here we go. The field that we want to inject with the... Whoops, didn't mean to do that. So this value is basically a variable that refers back to whatever's right here. And that's going to be what's referencing this file right here that's going to be printed out over here. So now if we run it, there you go, it worked, see? There's our Etsy password file. Okay, keeping that in mind, we saw in the source that there was a file that we should go take a look at as posted by the comments here. And we'll take that and we'll just paste it in where we have Etsy password. Send. All right, there we go. You see admin and then a password right here, continue to one exclamation mark. Awesome. So we'll copy the password. Oh, there's also a secret down here and that'll be important in a second here. So we're going to go ahead and submit that information. And then we move on to the next part of the challenge. So let's go ahead and view source. And it looks like... Oh, let's read this notice first. Due to recent attacks, the run command features have been disabled, and only the operations log is available. Okay, so keep in mind that we're trying to access the SSH private key of the operations user, which is stored in a file. So even though the commands are disabled, we should still be able to read the file itself in theory. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to inspect and we're going to actually go ahead and just submit this just to see what it looks like on the network side. And it didn't actually do anything. Okay, there we go. So I guess it prints the operations log and it just says disable run command, disable logging. Okay, so if we look at the request right here, the operations request, you'll notice that there's a JWT token here, and I can expand this out a little bit so you can see it better. And the way we know this is because there's little periods in between what looks like base 64. Awesome. So let's grab that and see what it decodes to, shall we? I think I copied that. So we'll go to Google and then we'll go to, I don't know what's going on there. Let's go back. There we go. And then we want to do JWT decode. And this first one will work just fine. We'll paste it in, and you'll notice, yes, it does decode to a read log, var log, operations.log. And then notice the algorithm is HS256, which means we need a secret in order to re-encode what we want to put here properly, right? And I'll show you what we need to put here in a second. No, doing the read command operation will not work. I tried it. It doesn't work. Maybe there's a way to get it to work, but I wasn't able to get it to work. However, you don't need to, because we do know where a typical private SSH key is stored, right? But first, let's take care of the secret. We know what the secret is because if we go back to burp suite, we actually have another part of our XXE injection that spat out that value. And you'll notice that this value is, I think, around 64 characters long, which in hex, well, each one of these numbers, since it's a hex, would be 4 bits, which is a nibble, which would be 64 times 4, which would give you 256. So this is the 256-bit key that we need to use. Okay, now we're good to modify. So where is a private key usually stored on a Linux system? Well, it's usually stored in /home, and we know from the challenge prompt that it's going to be the operations user /-id_RSA. It'll be id_RSA.key or .pub for the public key, but the private key doesn't usually have the extension. So keeping that in mind, this should be the payload we want to submit. So how are we going to submit it? Well, we're just going to go back here and do a edit and resend. And then we're just going to replace the body with our new JWT token and send it. Then we're going to take a look at the response. And there's our flag, a nice cup of JWT. So I just want to throw out there that this was one of my more favorite challenges on this CTF. It was actually quite enjoyable and went fairly smooth for me, honestly. I'm kind of surprised. I thought it would take me a lot longer. But hopefully you got it as well. And with that, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like and subscribe to the channel to show your support. Turn on post notifications to get regular injections of cyber content directly into your feed. Check out our Patreon, join our Discord, and follow us on Twitter. Links in the description box down below. And leave any feedback or questions in the comments section down below. This is Almond Milk. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, world.